I did have one more tip for being a good husband and this one's a little bit more pragmatic, but know where the closest public bathroom is to your stateroom.
Oh,
I'm just going to leave it at that.
I love that.
Closest, then you won't use the one in the stateroom.
Welcome back, everybody, to another special live edition of the DCL Duo podcast, brought to you by My Path Unwinding Travel and our good friends over at WDW Magazine, DCL Magazine. If you haven't gotten your first issue of the magazine, head over there to dcl-magazine.com. Put your email address in, give them all your details, and buy a copy today. You can buy a digital copy, you can buy a physical copy, you can buy a subscription. There's so many options. So if you are looking for some high quality, some more high quality Disney Cruise Line, not more as in better, but more as in abundance of Disney Cruise Line content.
Yes.
Head over to dcl-magazine.com and use code DCLDuo. That's DCL Duo, all caps, to get 10% off everything in the WDW Magazine online store. I never got Sam or calendar, and it's too late, Sam. We're already halfway through the year. So.
I know we're gonna have to get the 2026 calendar. I think that's
as soon as it becomes available.
But of course, you want all of your lookout key content, all of your castaway key content. I'm repping both islands today for tonight's show. Speaking of tonight's show, before we get to our topic and our guests, or one of our guests is here in the background. You can't see her yet. We're waiting.
She's in the green room. She's enjoying the green M&Ms and
all the refreshments in the green room. The Topo Chico in the green room.
It's a BYOB green room.
Yeah. Anyway, her husband is actually trying to put their youngest to bed, but we have some news, so we figured we'd start with that. And there's a couple pieces of news out there, one of which we heard from Scott Gustin on X. So we've had Scott Gustin on the show before. So you know him.
Not Scott Gustin. I think it came from Scott Sanders, Sam, just to be clear.
Oh, I could have sworn you sent me a Twitter from Scott Gustin.
Scott Sanders at the DCL blog reporting. Okay. Yes, reporting.
Sorry.
Yes.
Scott Sanders from DCL blog reporting that all of the splash pads, meaning the little kid splash pads that are on all of the ships, are now going to be for ages 4 and under. So the littlest splash pads we're talking about, it's like Dory's Reef, Nemo's Reef, and then the Toy Story splash pad on The Wish and the Treasure. Those are going to be changed. Not all of them have been ages 4 and under. They have been, some of them were ages 6 and under, but they're all being changed. I personally think this is not a great change. I mean, it's probably good for the people with those littlest cruisers, but it has an impact on some other cruisers who might be a little bit older but aren't quite potty trained yet, or younger kids.
I think it's become a bit unmanageable for them to keep, because the older kids play like older kids and the younger kids aren't. Yeah. And so I've seen more than once lifeguards have to coach kids out of the play space.
Well,
so I think,
and I've seen them do it with like 8-year-olds trying to get them out of there. So I understand I understand it's become an issue, but it's a bit of a bummer for those kids who might be like, 5 and not potty trained, or have disabilities and not be potty trained yet. So that's a bummer, but we wanted to let you all know that, because we just saw that on socials today. There's another thing that happened again just today, with Disney IT or DCL IT. I don't know how broad this was, but we heard from folks both at Port Everglades and Port Canaveral who were embarking today, which would have been on the Dream and the Wish, that there was some issue with their IT systems. And so everybody had to basically redo check-in at the port. So it didn't matter that you had uploaded your passport and all that your information ahead of time. They had to redo everything at the port today, which meant that people were way delayed with boarding. We heard from folks down in Port Everglades who were boarding on the Dream, who had a 1:15 port arrival time, that they didn't board the ship until 4:05. Remember, the ship usually departs around 5 p.m. And that they were then told they needed to go do a muster at 7:45 p.m. in the Walt Disney Theater, because that's how delayed they were. They missed the muster drill, basically. So I don't know if the ship was delayed leaving port. I imagine it probably was, but maybe not significantly. And I don't know at Port Canaveral how much of a delay the Wish had in leaving as well. But we have been hearing this. So that just is a good reminder. Make sure you have all of your documents like with you on hand so that your check-in process goes smoothly. Because if there's any issue with the IT, they're going to have to process everything all over again.
To be fair, for those of you bracing for a Brian DCL technology rant, don't worry, I'm not going to do that. Mostly because I shout into the wind. But this is also like just one of those things that, like, an airline systems go down, it happens. So, if it was happening all the time, I'd be more concerned about it. I agree with Sam. Have your documents printed out so you can board the ship if you need to, because technology is an imperfect medium at this point in our lives. So yeah. But Sam, I think. Well, actually, before we bring our guest on, I had one other thing I wanted to say, which is I want to send a big shout out. I'm not going to read everybody's names tonight. I will do that in the future. I want to send a big shout out to our patrons. We've actually had quite a few Patreons join our Patreon program. Really appreciate it. We really, really appreciate the support. So we will give you all a shout out here in an upcoming show very soon. But thank you for supporting the show. You can head over to patreon.com/DCL Duo if you want to check out that as a way to help support the show.
And we should let you know, we do have an exclusive Facebook group that is just we have a regular Facebook group for those who haven't joined our regular Facebook group. DCL Duo Podcast and Blog is the name of the Facebook group. But we also have an exclusive Patreon only Facebook group. So do a search for that. It will require, of course, approval for you to get in. We'll check your name against your Patreon, our Patreon list, but you can get in our.
Yeah, that group has been far too quiet of late.
Yeah, I know.
I mean, the Patreons are usually a pretty active crowd, so yeah.
And sometimes you might get like an exclusive video of my studio or Brian's studio, and sometimes you might get like a crazy video of me dancing silly at a game show on one of the ships. So
Patreon exclusive content, right there.
Yeah, I mean, we don't give you special shows, but we do give you sometimes occasional special video access. So
yes.
And we'll answer your questions, of course, as we always do. So anyway, with that, I think it's time. In fact, both of our guests are here now. We can tell in the green room. We got to say welcome to the show, Alex and Audrey Smith. Welcome.
Thank you.
Hey,
excited to be here.
How are y'all?
It's great to see you both. Okay, Alex, we're not seeing your whole face because your name is blocking your face. So maybe, just sit up a little higher. Thank you. Perfect. See, we couldn't do some of this pre-show stuff because Alex was putting their little one to bed, which is a perfect way to kind of start today's topic. Well, first of all, Alex has been on the show before. Audrey has not been on the show, but for those of you who haven't seen Alex before, he is second dad to the right. He runs a blog all about all things Disney with a lot of focus on family travel. He has a great article about the history of Castaway Cay. He's got some really great information about how to use the nursery on board and about the kids clubs. He has some stuff about, from the kids' perspective as well, because some of their kids like to contribute articles as well to the blog. So that's what.
And we're affectionately calling Audrey tonight second mom to the
second mom to the right. Although
she's to the left. She's actually the mom to the left tonight. But anyway.
But Audrey also has an online presence because Audrey is tutoring with Audrey, and she tutors kids for ACT and SAT. So if you like what you hear after this show, of course, you can reach out to her, and you can also check out Alex's blog, seconddadtotheright.com. But
it's a lot of big words.
Exactly. Give us some SAT words as we're talking.
But as the show is titled, we're here tonight for a celebration of all moms in honor of Mother's Day, but mostly DCL cruising moms. So there we go. That's the show topic tonight is celebrating mothers in the DCL cruise line or Disney.
So speaking of motherhood, I told my kids I'd give them a shout out. So Della and Amelia are watching right now. So
yay! And we're gonna give a shout out to baby Asher. I mean, he's not a baby; he's a 3-year-old. But
they have the monitor, so they're in charge of him if he gets up. We're in the basement.
I love it. I love it. Hi, kids. Mom and Dad are on the show live. I love it. Awesome. Well, we're super excited to have you guys on the show. Alex, to have you back on the show. Audrey, to have you on for the first time. And we thought we would talk about some of our, moms as Disney Cruise Line favorites in honor of Mother's Day, as Brian said. There's a salute to all moms. But mostly Disney cruising moms. And so, we're going to talk a little bit favorites. We're going to talk about also like maybe some things you could think about in the future for the mom in your life, whether it's your mom, your spouse, maybe it's grandma, right? Like, or the mom figure in your life, and how you can celebrate them on a Disney cruise and maybe give them a little bit of a pampering. So that's what tonight's topic is. I think we should start with like some of our favorites, Audrey. I think like a favorite way to be pampered on a cruise. And then we'll let Alex maybe give a favorite thing or way to pamper or celebrate you on a Disney cruise. So let's start there. Yeah.
Well, this is not a way that like it's pampered. So this is a little bit like it's on topic, but not. But when we first get there, just kind of thinking chronologically through the trip, when we first get there, he usually will take the kids like to the pool or something while I organize the room. And that sets up the trip to be so much nicer because I know where everything is and I'm not stressed the whole time. And also when like all three kids are asking me for things and I'm trying to organize, I don't do well. So him taking the kids off so I can organize the trip at the very beginning, I think is a big deal.
She knows where everything is, but it's all a surprise for me. What's in this drawer?
I love that's a great one. So I'm not the organizing one in the family. That's Brian. But it always does work better if you divide and conquer, I think, with those tasks. For me, I think I would start even before that. I would start with like, who's the planner in our family? And that's actually Brian. Like Brian's the one who says, oh, we're going to take this trip and I'm going to plan out the flight and the hotel and the transportation. And you just, I still have to pack myself and I pack for Nathan, but I just like show up and I'm like the princess who gets taken on my vacation. So I have to say, thank you to Brian for allowing me to not plan the trips because that's not my strong suit. And so for some people, for some women, that might be your strong suit and you might love to do the planning. I don't like that part.
He does the planning like that, like the flights and everything. I just get the kids like everything they need and make sure that we are all prepared once we get there.
I love that.
She does the packing. I do the itinerary.
Yeah.
There you go. Well, so that's a perfect way to start for you, Alex. So you get all the planning, you get the planning side done. Do you have to then tell her what's on the itinerary so that she knows what to pack?
She knows what's on the cruise itinerary along ahead of time, but it's like this is what time I need to be here and what time I need to get to the airport. And if we get here early enough, we get to go to the airport lounge.
The airport lounge has like saved us so many times because we're like running late and like we don't get to go to the lounge, but we're not late for our flight. So the airport lounge helps.
Nice. That's a great tip. I love that.
I would also say like that sometimes I do like to get a massage on a Disney cruise. And I would prefer to do that kind of at the beginning because like after flying and traveling with your kids and, not being treated like a princess, like in the dining room and whatnot, like it's good to kind of de-stress and be like, okay, now we're on vacation. So I prefer to do that like as soon as possible.
I like to do that with I always like to get the shave and the facial, and a friend of mine clued me in on, we'll just do it on the first day. Like do it like after you board the ship, just go get it done. You're relaxed and then you're ready to go. Like it's like starting vacation. So I try to book it on that first day. It's always, and then it feels like it's like you're actually getting something done on the first day. Like you're getting something out of the cruise on the first day. Yeah.
Especially because that first day is like so chaotic, right? That first day with the check-in and the muster and organizing all the stuff in the stateroom and unpacking. Because we are unpackers. We always unpack. I guess even
I'm an unpacker. Sam would probably live out of a suitcase if she could, but I'm an unpacker.
Not on maybe a 7-night cruise. On the shorter cruise, I probably would live out of a suitcase, except Brian doesn't let me. So I just have to unpack. He's like, everything's going to be put away in its place. And so I have to unpack. Yeah, Tracy is jumping in saying, Audrey, same with the massage at the beginning. I don't have it on both ends at at the beginning is better. I'll go one step further and say I'll take multiple spa appointments. I like yeah. I actually like my massage on day 2, but in the morning. So I don't like it on embarkation day because embarkation day is very crazy. And I do want to get the unpacking done and, kind of settle in. And if there's a show, I want to see the show. I'm probably going to go to the sail away party. So yeah, I feel like for me, it's day 2. But Brian, you were talking about you and your shave, but what are ways that you pamper me, not pampering yourself?
Well, I always book your spa appointments for you. Like
he has to get pretty for you. He's gotta and also I do want to say that it's good to probably get a shave while you're still in port. That way this ship's not rocking, but he's got a knife to your throat.
I do like that tip. That's a good one.
I do what you said I do. I take care of all of the planning.
That's true.
I mean, even for this, we're leaving on Friday to go to Vegas, right? And everything is taken care of. So all you have to do is put your pretty little self in the car. We'll go to the airport, and the rest is taken care of. So
that's right. Now I did book the dining reservations myself, Brian, for this trip this weekend.
Oh, so hard!
I know it was so hard on the open table.
Watching reality TV on the couch. Yes.
Absolutely. True story. Yeah. I love, I think the other part that I would say is like the best gift for mom, is a Disney cruise, right? Like I don't know what better gift.
Santa's a size 7 night Eastern Caribbean. Yes. Or 11 night Southern Caribbean.
7 plus, right?
Yeah. And I think especially because like for me, so we just went on like a long trip, just the 2 of us. It was like 10 days in Switzerland and Italy. And it was so fun. But there was a point during the trip that I was like, I really miss the kids, and I had to just kind of like have a second and get over it and rally. But on a Disney cruise, it's really, you get the best of both worlds because you get that really good quality family time and you get, some time by yourself and some time with your spouse. And you're not like asking your grandparent to do it and like kind of using up those credits, so it's like everything is just sort of included. So it's nice.
Absolutely. Oh, the grandparent credit is real, Audrey, because so right now my mom is visiting. She's been in for about a week. She'll be in for about another week. I was here for about 2.5 weeks. So total. And we're going away this weekend. And so we are cashing in those grandparent credits, but there are only so many grandparent credits we get every year. Right. And so, and some folks, I know we're lucky. Some folks don't have any grandparent credits. So we're very lucky. We even have that, but it's not like we can go, for a long period of time that often, without Nathan, except when he's like in sleepaway camp. And so
now we have the sleepaway camp credits is what we use now.
We do have sleepaway camp credits, but that's unique. Not everybody sends their kid to sleepaway camp, and he's old enough, of course, and we only have one child, so it's a little bit easier.
I was actually anti sleepaway camp, but now I'm pro.
Now he's very pro sleepaway camp. So yeah, but yeah, I think that's an excellent point. With a cruise, you can get the best of both worlds. So let's talk about how do we do those things, right? You guys have 3 kids. No, 4 kids, 3 kids.
3.
3.
Sometimes it feels like 4 or 5 or 6, but it's just 3.
when there's any more than 2, I'm like, I don't know. They have a lot of kids. I
know. We have our kids' friends over all the time, like every day in the neighborhood. And so we're always like, how many kids are we supposed to be counting right now?
And of course, supervising and wrangling, multiple kids is a full-time job for any parent. So what kinds of things do we do on the cruise to alleviate that? I feel like that's the vacation part, right? Like a parks trip. I always think of a parks trip is not a vacation for the parents. It is a trip, not a vacation. But I think of a cruise as a vacation. I don't know what you guys think.
I think so too. And actually, so Brene Brown, at one point I was reading one of her books and she said something about like expectations and how that can be like make or break in a relationship, and how she actually used the example of the Disney trip, saying that she when she was packing her bag, she brought like 3 novels and her husband was like, why are you doing that? And so it was like a good, like, they were like, that's not the kind of trip where you read a novel. But a Disney cruise can be. This last time on our trip, it was a little bit different just because our kids were all different ages. Like, they all went to different clubs. And so it felt like we didn't have as much time.
We only had one day at sea too.
Yeah.
Because it was the 2 islands, Nassau, and 1 day at sea. And so we didn't really have a lot of sitting on the deck time.
Yeah. But usually we do, a lot of times, especially if it's like a 7-day cruise, then there will be, good time that we can carve out to read and things like that, which is really nice.
Yeah, I like that story about Brene Brown, because as soon as she said she packed her novels, I'm like, this is not that type of vacation. Yeah. So yeah. Oh man.
But it's totally something I would do, because I always think like I'm going to be a different person on vacation. Like I'm going to wear things I don't usually wear.
We're all gonna work out
or write poetry or something.
Journal. I'm gonna journal on vacation. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
Finally gonna knock out that novel I've always been wanting to write. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Some people do. Some people write novels on
Sean. Our guest Sean. We've had him on many times. He writes. Yeah.
No, not Sean. We have the other guest who is a writer. We actually had a writer who actually writes on.
Yeah, I thought that was Sean.
No, it's not Sean.
All right. I'll look it up. I'll look it up.
You have to look it up. Yeah.
All right. Keep going.
Yeah. But yeah, I think there's definitely well, how did that work with the 3 kids being different ages and doing the kids club? Because that's obviously the kids club, I think, is a huge parent benefit, right? When you can get some individual time, you can get some couple time if your kids are willing to go to the kids club. I know your little one is it's still in the nursery.
Right.
Did all 3 kids, were they willing to go to the kids club? And if so, how did they do?
Less so this time, but in the past, it's worked like beautifully. Like where Asher really wanted to go to the nursery, it was super fun because there was toys, and at that time he was like crawling and kind of like just learning to walk. So it was like he could really kind of explore his surroundings more in a free way, like in the nursery. So there was a time that he really liked the nursery, and then the girls, I think when they could go to kids club together, when they were both in the same group, they they felt more comfortable, I guess, just going and like being there for a longer period of time because they kind of had like each other. But I felt like there was a lot more interruptions this time. And Asher he's getting more vocal, and he's able to be like, I don't want to be in here with these people I don't know. I want to be with you, So we did definitely get some time, but not like we had in the past, I guess.
And we also experimented with Della having a phone and Millie being able to check herself out, and then also letting them like wander around the ship together. And at one point, Millie, like they were just watching Funnel Vision, and Millie went to get pizza and just could not find Della on the, and so she started texting us. She's like, I don't know what happened to Millie. And she had the presence of mind to go check herself into the kids club just so they would notify us where she was.
Oh, wow.
Because she couldn't find anybody.
Oh, poor thing.
But that is the nice thing about Disney cruises, is that like you really feel safe. It's not, the cruise ships aren't huge, and it's not like they're all, families, and it's just, it's easy to find your kid if you lose them, or if it's easy to, cast members are super helpful, and they know at this age, they know where our room is, so they can at least go there, and they have the key to get in, So we kind of had a lot of things in play for if they did kind of get uncomfortable, since they're not used to it,
Yeah. I love even on the pool deck, right? Like I feel like the pool deck on Disney Cruise Line, I feel like I can, even if I'm on the family pool deck, I feel like I can kind of relax a bit, right? Like if I'm at a public pool with Nathan, even though he's actually a good swimmer, I still feel like I got to kind of keep eyes on him, for fear that somebody might knock him over and hurt him, for fear that someone might, I don't know, snatch him. I know like that my mind goes to all kind of crazy places, but maybe that's because of what I do for a living. But setting that aside, I always feel like I have to keep eyes on him and be a good and attentive parent, a good parent, right?
Yeah.
I feel like on a Disney cruise, there are so many cast and particularly lifeguards, right, around the pools. I feel very comfortable, like sitting back and relaxing a little bit and not necessarily always keeping eyes on. Like, well, I feel like you have to make a home base, right? So that your kid knows where you are to come back to if they're going on the slides or the pool or whatever.
That's why I like to make my home base in the adult pool area. And
Yes.
So that's one of the reasons we love Disney. Like even at the resorts, like we just feel like the lifeguards, they change shifts all the time and they're walking and they're looking. They're not like a bunch of teenagers on their phone. Like it feels very much like they take their job seriously, and the lifeguards are great, which makes you feel like you can relax a little bit more. Which I think is huge. And they also sometimes will do like activities with the kids too. Like can kind of get them engaged and, not like I'm bored, let's go back to the room,
My favorite lifeguard story was at Blizzard Beach. The lifeguard blew the whistle and like just dove in with all of her clothes on to rescue a flip-flop.
To rescue a flip-flop.
Yeah, because somebody lost it on like the zip line in the little kids area.
Oh my God, that's
I
hilarious.
think she's just really hot.
Yeah.
She wants to get in the water. Yeah.
It's the dedication of these lifeguards.
I saw that on Disney Cruise the last time we were on, not the flip flop, but it was a port day and we stayed on the ship and we were by the pools and like somebody kind of walked over and got in the pool and then like was like flailing around and the lifeguard blew the whistle and dived in and like, went, and then the person started swimming and it turned out to be like another lifeguard who was simulating like, like I need help. But I felt as the guy dove in with everything, the fanny pack, all of it. And I was just I was like, man, that's going to be miserable for the next 2 hours, just soaking wet and all that stuff. But
yeah.
But definitely wonderful, way
how about pampering through adult dining?
Yeah,
we definitely did that this time.
Yeah.
What's your favorite?
Like read books because we spent 3 hours in Remy.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, read a book, spend 3 hours in Remy.
The books are there when you get home.
Right. And then return the pen. That's right. Alex almost stole. Well, he did steal a pen, not knowing it was like a Mont Blanc, like $1,000 pen. And so they promptly called him to return the pen back to Remy.
Next time, Alex, can you get a Mont Blanc pen and bring it on the ship with you when the waiter hands you the pen? No, I've got my own.
I'm taking sponsorships. If they get Cartier or a Mont Blanc.
I love it.
Audrey, we heard Alex's opinion of Remy. What was your opinion of Remy?
So there's Remy and Paulo, and Remy is the one that was really nice. Is that
the
right?
fancy.
Yeah,
that was the one that was the 5 courses, but not the Priminate of Paulo. We also did.
Okay.
Lots of 5 courses.
Yeah, I mean, it was amazing. It was as good as it could be. I mean, there was nothing that I was like, oh, this wasn't really worth it. Like, not everything was wonderful, like close your eyes and eat it kind of thing. I don't know that I would do it again because of the price point. But It was fun to do once. Alex will probably disagree. I want to do it next time.
No, I mean, it really depends on how much money's in the bank.
Yeah, that's true.
Absolutely.
But yeah, it was very nice, and I don't remember a lot of specifics, but we felt very like pampered and taken care of.
And we got the wine package, so it was just nice because they would come over and explain. The wine, explain the food, how it pairs, and why they picked it. So that was nice, and like what region of France, just like the Priminate. So
I find those wine pairings just I can't do it anymore. Like we used to get so much wine. Yeah,
it's delicious. It's just delicious. It's just a matter of like how much do I want to be like, feeling badly the next day.
I know. And the older you get, like I'm definitely feeling like I have to have my Tums ready. And
I know.
It's more the walk back to the cabin for me. I'm walking down the hallway and I'm like, man, this ship's really moving. And then somebody just walks by totally normally. You're like, oh, this ship is not. It's me. It's not the ship.
Yeah.
Well, I think I told you guys I had to cancel a whiskey tasting.
Oh, that's right. You were supposed to have one after. Yeah, don't do that, folks.
I don't want me there.
Don't plan a whiskey tasting for after a wine flight at Remy.
Or Priminate.
Or Priminate. Fair. Yeah, absolutely fair.
I felt like we got more at Remy than we did Priminate.
But that wasn't to be expected. Like it was.
Yes, it's more courses. Yeah.
Well, it was obviously more food at Remy, but I felt like we got more wine with the 5 pours. Like it was the same number of glasses, but a lot more wine.
Oh yeah, because Priminate is really a tasting, right? Priminate is a food and wine tasting scenario. Even though they might give you a decent sized pour at Priminate, it's really supposed to be a tasting pour. Whereas At Remy, it is a wine pairing. And so even if you're getting only a 5-course meal, well, first of all, they often give you more courses than what actually shows on the menu, right? Because they give you multiple dessert courses. If you do the wine pairing, they often are, they might give you 6 wines or 5 wines, but they're giving you, it's not a full, well, what people now pour-a-days is like, 5-ounce pours, but it's still like it's usually a pretty big, 3-ounce pour. So yeah. And Tracy's saying, don't do a mixology class before any of those. I have to agree with you there.
Are you listening to our show because you want to make the most out of your next vacation? Great news. The fabulous team over at My Path Unwinding Travel can help guide you so you don't miss a thing. Their team of professional travel advisors are caring, knowledgeable, and experienced. It's why we use them to book our own travel. My Path Unwinding Travel is an authorized Disney vacation planner, which means they are recognized by Disney for their expertise and service. They have sailed on all the Disney ships, including in concierge, visited the theme parks, adventured with Disney, relaxed at Aulani, and so much more. Whether it's a Disney cruise, a theme park vacation, or adventures by Disney, or if you are looking to expand beyond the mouse, My Path Unwinding Travel will elevate your next vacation planning experience. Even if you have already booked, reach out for a complimentary consultation to make your vacation even more magical. Ready to talk to the experts? Head over to mypathunwinding.com/DCL Duo or email dclduo@mypathunwinding.com so they know we sent you their way. Thanks, My Path Unwinding, for sponsoring today's show. Now back to the episode.
Let's talk about some other ways to be pampered or get time on your own. I mean, one thing I like to do, and I know Brian always thinks I'm crazy when I do pixie dusting, right? But part of my doing pixie dusting is it gives me an opportunity to walk the ship by myself. I really enjoy alone time, just walking around the ship. Now that can be on the promenade deck, just walking outside if I'm on more of the older ships rather than like the Wish or the Treasure that don't have a real walking track, or it could just be walking the hallways when I'm delivering magnets. And it's like, and it's not about like getting, I actually saw a great comment from Linda about you can get 20,000 steps a day. So cruises is a nice way to, sort of, instead of working out, just walking. I totally agree. It's not necessarily about getting steps in, but it's like, I'm like killing 2 birds with 1 stone. I'm getting some like alone me time. And then I'm also like getting some physical activity in without going to the gym and doing like.
What is all this alone time you need? What am I, like a stage 5 clinger over here? Like I'm usually by myself. So I'm in the rainforest room or the concierge lounge or sitting on the pool deck. So I get plenty of alone time.
You know what the difference is?
And Nathan's always in the kids club now.
Well, you know what one of the differences is, I think, between moms and dads, and I don't know if this is the same with you guys with your family, but like whenever Nathan needs something,
no, that tide is shifted. That tide is shifted lately. It's coming to dad now. He's like, wants to show me he wants to play the clarinet recital for me. He wants to show me the thing he's doing on the computer. So
it's finally starting to shift now that he's 11 years old. But let me tell you, for the past 11 years and 9 months, the person that has been poked and prodded and mom, like the dog Brian in Family Guy. That's me. Like
that wasn't Brian in Family Guy. That was Stewie. Stewie, mom.
Yes,
mom.
You're right. Sorry, Stewie in Family Guy. Yeah,
get your references right.
Sorry, thank you. I'm the one who's like, Mom, I need a snack. I still like. When's dinner going to be ready? I need, I need a ruler for school tomorrow, right? Like all of those things. He's starting to now go shift to Brian, but have been for me. And so that alone time, I don't know. That's how I feel about it. I don't know how it works in your household.
It's kind of.
I'm curious what he's going to say.
Well, obviously Asher is hardcore needing her, and then if there's any sleep involved, like they want to sleep with her. But since she works from home, like they know she's here but unavailable, so they come to me with a lot of stuff. Other than that, and then if it's like, hey, we do trivia, like they, by virtue of the fact that I'm the one who's super hardcore Disney, that they're going to drag me along to whatever event they found on the schedule.
And I do also think that like Alex enjoys that stuff so much that a lot of times I will kind of take a backseat and do whatever Asher wants to do. And just, again, the age gap just makes things really different. So a lot of times I end up with Asher, which I really enjoy. Like, I enjoy watching him in the splash pad, and, you know, I take a million videos of him just like smiling and doing the same thing over and over again. But so, yeah, and that way it's having 3, it's like, we're always needed, both of us, all the time. So yeah.
Fair point. Well, listen, Asher's so cute. I can understand wanting to watch him in the splash pad. He's very animated, very expressive. And he'll be like, "Thank you, Mommy. This is so fun." And actually, when we were at the splash pad at sorry, I'm not in the language as much as you are every day. It was Lookout Key. The new one?
Lookout Key. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Gush out at Lookout Key at Lighthouse Point. Yes, there you go.
The splash pad. He wanted to stay at the splash pad the entire day.
That was a Castaway.
It was at Castaway?
Yeah, we didn't take him to Lookout.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah.
Yeah. At Castaway, and he just spent the entire time like saying, "I can fly," and like pretending to be Peter Pan and running around, and he was making everybody laugh, like even just other people that were there. But so enthusiastic. So he's easy to hang out with, for sure.
Oh,
Audrey, that raises a question for me, which we were talking about pampering mom, but like Disney cruises, Disney in general is like, you know, supposed to be the place where you make family memories. It lasts forever. Yeah. And Disney Cruise Line, I think, no exception. Do you have any favorite memories with the kids from onboard the cruise line?
I mean, definitely. And it's funny because I kind of think about it in like 2 sections. Like, we had like our 2 girls, like being like 4 and 6 and 5 and 7, you know, before we had Asher. And there were like such magical like princess moments where they just felt like a princess, and they got to meet the princesses, and they got to, you know, wear big dresses and like stand on a staircase where they felt like they were like in a movie, you know, and then going to see all the plays. My girls were super, super into the musicals, especially. And I feel like with the girls, it was just like one big, like, we're all playing pretend together, and it's so fun on the Disney cruise. And so there was that. And then like with Asher, probably a favorite memory, and I'm sure you've talked about this, but is the baby race.
We have to bring it up every time. He won the Jack Jacks.
Yeah.
That needs to go on his resume when he's older.
Yeah, it definitely.
Winner, Jack Jack diaper sash. Yeah, for sure. Yeah.
And he was so cute, like that. When he did it, he was like, he just wanted me so bad, and he was like flailing his arms and like clapping, and just so cute. And
as I lowered him down to the mat, he was like spazzing out, and everybody
right. He was all excited. The noise, the crowd was going wild, and like, he's in your arms, Alex, and all he wants is Audrey.
Yeah.
Right?
Everybody else, the moms released their kids. It was
no, that's like amateur hour, right? You know, like, you're supposed to put whoever is like the most desired parent, or it could be even a sibling, right? Like, or whoever's holding the most desired toy, right? At the end of that, by the finish line.
I thought it was just put a piece of bacon in your pocket.
Well, I mean, that works with dogs, but not with humans so much. Well, it depends on the human. It might work.
Depends on the human.
Yeah,
that's how you fight over a stray.
Yeah. I love that.
Alex, do you have any favorite memories, not of the kids, but of Audrey with the kids on board?
Audrey with the kids on board. I mean, definitely a lot of our character interactions have been so fun. I have this one memory of just, you know, us being around and Belle sitting down on the stairs with our oldest daughter when she was probably 6, 7, and like reading her book with her.
Yeah.
And like, you don't get that kind of attention anywhere else. So that was a really special memory. You know, we try to always, last time was not as much fun because everybody was crying. But
not everybody, mostly Asher.
Silent DJ.
Silent DJ.
Yeah. So that's really fun because the kids want to dance with her, they want to dance with me, they want to dance with each other. And so that's usually really fun. It was not. It was. I think we tried to do it like on the first night, and everyone was exhausted, and
everything went wrong. And we were like, "This was really fun one time, but it just didn't work out this time."
Yeah. Well, I mean, you bring up a good point with the character interactions. One of the things I love, and I constantly have to like begged my family to do, which is pictures, right? So like,
Oh yeah.
Hey.
you have gotten better. You've gotten better.
I especially on the treasure because I love those magic shots.
Brian likes the magic shot. He won't wait in line for all of them.
Lightsabers.
But he does really enjoy the magic shots. But like I always want to get family pictures, right? And Nathan's really not into taking pictures, and so he will not wait in those lines.
Noticeably absent from every picture we have on the treasure except at main dining.
Well, so that's but I want to like this is one way of like mom or dad or whoever like loves those family pictures, right? Or I mean, frankly, they're wonderful to have. I know on land we don't like schedule family pictures. We have done it before, but it was many years ago. And so it's not something we do on a regular basis. But the pictures that we do have are all from cruising on Disney. And they are all, pretty much all of them are in the dining room pictures because those are the ones that I can wrangle Nathan into. And Brian pretty much every time looks at me and it rolls his eyes like, really? We're going to do pictures? And I'm like, yes, because the pictures we got out in the atrium only are of either me or you and me together. And I want the pictures of all three of us.
Pictures in dining are the ones that kill me because I just finished photographing my food and now I have to photograph myself and I just want to eat my dinner. But yeah.
So I actually pass on the ones in the dining room. Mostly because I just am really overwhelmed. Like, I think I liked it at first. Like, it was really chaotic. Like, and I think I liked it when it was just the girls. But now with all three of them, I'm like, let's just skip dinner and let them have pizza on the deck. And then we'll go eat something that we really want to eat and enjoy it. Because it's just a lot, like with the shows and everything. And I know it's so entertaining for the kids. But, once you've done it, you're like, okay, that was a fun show. Now I want to just enjoy my food.
Yeah, it's a really good point you're making, Audrey, which is I think that we all think the family memories are going to come in the big moments, right? Mm-hmm. But they don't always. Like the thing you remember is a quiet moment together, like eating pizza in the stateroom and watching a TV show or watching a movie on the or just sitting on the pool deck having ice cream under the stars and watching Funnel Vision. Like I'd be curious. I don't know if you've ever asked your older kids. But like, I would be curious to ask Nathan even like, what do you remember? Like, what's your favorite memory from a Disney cruise? And I'm guessing it is not going to have anything to do with anything that I think of as one of my favorite memories. It is at this point, I'm a little nervous. It might actually not even involve us.
Yeah, it might be being an edge. Yeah,
but yeah. But that's a good point. Those like quiet moments as a family, I think, are just super important and something to seek out, and especially if it's not your first time cruising Disney. You don't have to see the show.
Texting the girls to see what they say.
Real time research. I love it.
But even that, like, so, but you have gotten them to wait in line for character photos.
Oh yeah,
they will do that more than just pose. And I think
so. The backdrop is not great, but for a pose with a character is a better one for you all.
Right, and I think, and just for me, I'm gonna get in trouble for saying this, but like with the character photos, they end.
Yeah,
and like. The cast members will tell you to leave, but if we're taking family pictures and Audrey wants the right faces, then we might be there a long time. And then they get angrier and angrier. And I have to be the mediator. I have to be like, no, you do what she says. And I have to be like, please, can we stop? And like, I have to be the go-between.
But I get really good pictures of our family.
You do.
And there's
we have
5 of us, so it's hard to do.
Yeah.
Right. Well, and that's you have a lot of different opportunities to do it on board, is my point. And at home, you don't have as many opportunities. Like you might take a picture of the kids, right? Or while you're even walking around on the cruise ship, you might take cute videos of Asher and the splash pad, but you don't get then a picture of you and Asher together, right? Or you with all 3 kids, right? Or the 2 of you with all 3 kids, right? And so I love that. That's like the one place where I can get them. And for me, it ends up being the dining room. I would love it if I could get Nathan to show up for some of the backdrops or even some characters. But even just the opportunity to get pictures where we're in the picture, I feel like that's a thing. Getting a mom in a picture can be a struggle depending upon the family. Sometimes it's the dad. It depends who's, more behind the camera person.
We take a lot of good balcony pictures too.
Oh.
Yeah, like at sunset.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
Some of our best pictures, like the one we used for Della's 5th grade graduation yearbook thing was from a balcony. Yeah.
There you go. She's
all dressed up for dining and.
And that I am really big into pictures. Like I like I really like to keep the peace, and I'm always like trying to make sure everybody's not arguing and stuff like that. But when it comes to pictures, I will put my foot down and I'll be like, we're doing this. And the faster you get in line, the faster we can
faster this will be over.
But pro tip for parents that want good pictures is pay attention to blood sugar levels. If you're getting dressed up for dinner and then you want to take pictures and then you want to eat, like you're setting yourself up for a lot of tantrums because everyone's like so hungry and ill.
Yeah, that's true.
That's a good point. Get some pizza in the kids, then take them to the photos, then go to the dining room, right? I mean, if they're not gonna eat whatever's in the dining room anyway, might as well give them pizza ahead of time.
Very true.
Unless they're mac and cheese eater like Nathan, who's going to just stuff his face with mac and cheese and then leave as soon as that's done.
Yeah.
I love it. Now, do you guys go to the shows still on cruises? And is that something that you find, one, enjoyable, two, I don't know if it's really relaxing. It kind of depends on the person. But like for me, that's a big thing, right? Like, but I'm happy to go. I'll go by myself because Nathan's not into it. Brian's maybe even less into it. Well, it depends on the show. He'll go to some, but not most of them. But like for me, I'm like perfectly happy to go by myself. I actually think that's a way that I, get pampered is by, doing the thing I want to do on my schedule. I don't know how you guys handle it.
We do most of the shows. We're a pretty big musical family and theater family. And the girls are super into, especially the big Broadway style musicals. We might skip some of the magic shows and.
Oh yeah, we don't usually do those. The magic shows and comedy and stuff like that. It's usually just like the big music production stuff that we do.
Yeah, but I love them because I love movies too. I like going to watch theaters in the Buena Vista theater. Let's say theater. Watching theaters. Watching theaters.
Watching theaters. Watching movies.
Watching movies. Just getting I've got my my DCL beer mug and get it filled up and just sitting there and watching, and I know we're gonna stay there for a long time and just hang out and so.
Yeah, this last time we took Asher to a show. We took him to the Beauty and the Beast, and he really liked it, and he was talking, but so were a lot of other kids. And, it was just like, that's just kind of the environment you're in. And so it felt good that he could enjoy that.
And he was dressed like Beast too.
And he was dressed like the Beast. Yeah. And so it was fun that he could enjoy that without us having to worry so much about, is he being, we couldn't take him to the Fox and do that,
right.
In Atlanta, like it would have, but it's a Disney cruise. So you kind of expect kids to, participate a little bit.
Yeah. Well, and it's not a 2.5 hour show that it
That's
would
true.
be, right? If you went to see the Broadway, travel national tour, right? It would be a 2 or 2+ hour show with an intermission. When you're going to see it on a Disney Cruise Line ship, it is intended for families. And I'm with you, Audrey. Like I expect children to be talking, during those, not shouting, but talking because they're little. It is also why I like to choose late dining because there are less children at the early show because they're usually at early dining. And so I don't, I understand there's going to be kids at all of the shows, but I'm a little bit of a theater snob, and so I'd rather a little less noise than more noise, and that's okay. I can handle that. A little less noise, it's fine. But I think that's another fun thing for us moms to do on Disney cruises. Do you guys have any traditions of what you do in the morning for let's say breakfast? It's Audrey, do you get up and go get breakfast for yourself, for the kids, or Alex, do you go get up and get breakfast for the kids, or do you all get up together and head to Cabanas for breakfast? Because we have I think the way we do it is completely unique and different to what most people do because most of our family doesn't really eat breakfast.
We usually went all together,
conquer.
But sometimes, yeah. And I think there was a couple mornings this time that I just went and got food for everybody from Cabanas and brought it back to the room.
Yeah.
Or order room service, especially if we're trying to get out on
an excursion.
Island.
Yeah.
But, and we also, one of us will take Asher and then the other one will take the 2 girls. And that way, and almost stagger by 15 minutes.
Yeah.
But
Yep.
it's hard to do a buffet with a 3-year-old.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh yeah. That's why I was thinking like, is it easier for one of you to like sort of wrangle and get the kids ready for the day while the other one's running to Cabanas to get food and bring back? And I'm really thinking of what Tracy's talking, which is Mickey Churro waffles. Because
that's the day I went and got some for everybody.
Right. I mean, that's the right way to do it, Audrey, which is one of you to go when because it's gonna be crazy in Cabanas, and you get a plate or 2 plates full of churro waffles. Your family's bigger, so you might need 2 plates. Although your kids are, well, you got the little one. He probably doesn't eat that much. But anyway, you get a couple of plates full of churro waffles. You bring them back to the room, and then everybody just, chows down.
I also do like the sit down option. And sometimes we'll do that just because, like you said, just with a 3-year-old,
they bring stuff to you. You don't have to worry about him like falling with you, or you can get because with a buffet, the way it works with the kid is one of us has to go get a plate for him,
right?
Bring it to him while the other one feeds him. Then you get to get your own plate, and then the second parent gets the plate. And
it's a very long process eating. Yeah. Well, it's funny you say that because it may make a buffet actually slower than a sit down breakfast in that scenario when you have to when one of you has to sit and supervise because he can't really. It's kind of too big to carry around the buffet, but too small to walk around the buffet, really.
Yeah. And even like navigating lines and stuff like that. Sometimes the sit down option is really best for families with young kids.
Yeah. That's a really good point. All right. Let's round this out with a couple of just favorites. We're going to do a little like a rapid fire of favorites. Which
do we ever get do we hear back from the girls?
Yeah.
I wonder what their favorite memory was.
Yeah.
If they
didn't answer.
Well,
hang on, girls.
You're watching her on her iPad, not on her watch.
Well, that's where she had messaged me before.
Oh, okay.
But I think that they would say like unlimited ice cream on the pool deck. Kind of to your point earlier.
Yeah.
That's a great one. Yeah.
Nice.
And funnel vision, like watching movies all day while swimming. Yeah.
I love that. I love to just sit on the pool deck and watch funnel vision. Like, who doesn't need to watch, like, I don't know, Finding Nemo or Muppets Treasure Island or,
Well, and there's so much to do on the ship, and they just love being on the ship so much that I think he mentioned it earlier, but like they did not want to go with us to the new island. It was back to back with Castaway. Like, so we had just done that day. And so then it was like, wake up and do it all again,
Yep.
But they were like, we just will miss the ship if we go,
Wow.
And we were like, okay, well, if you guys don't want to go, Daddy and I can go and explore and like hike and do things that we would normally do,
That's amazing.
So, it worked out, but we both felt weird. Like we couldn't enjoy it as much because we were like, the kids are supposed to be here with us enjoying this new island.
Now they're just responding in real time to what we're talking about. So, to be fair, I was sunburned.
Oh, that's right. She got really sunburned. Yeah.
You're supposed to answer the question that we texted you, Della.
Which was, what are your favorite Disney memories?
Yeah, favorite memories from a Disney cruise. Yeah. We've got a good one from a 22-year-old. Her favorite memory from cruising is the ice cream and funnel vision. Yeah.
Yep. That's what she's saying right now.
Yeah, Amelia said the
saucer.
Our 9-year-old says that it's the ice cream.
Yeah.
There you go. There you go. So really, you just needed to take him to a froyo place
with unlimited.
Costs money.
Lock down $100 and say, have as much as you can eat.
They do really. In the past, we've really enjoyed karaoke as a family.
Oh, nice.
That's actually one thing I don't like about Disney is that their karaoke is almost always at like 11 o'clock at night.
Yeah.
Or during one of the shows. And I'm like, is that not something people like would be super excited about at like 4 o'clock in the afternoon? Like, I feel like I would show up for that. I don't know why it's not a big deal.
Yeah. Some of the longer itineraries will have a few more options, but you're right. They don't have as much as some of the other, on Royal, they literally have a dedicated karaoke bar on most of the ships. It seems like that you can do karaoke like all day long, basically. And it would be, Disney's not going to make a dedicated space, I think, like that. But yeah, I think to your point, like they do have some family karaoke's that are a little bit earlier, and that's always fun.
I think it makes more sense for them to have a dedicated one than the other cruise lines because so much of their IP is music.
True.
Mhm.
True. And they
Like
do
everybody
have,
wants to sing all the songs.
yeah, they
Yeah.
do have some the family karaoke that I have been to tends to skew highly Disney and highly Taylor Swift. Let me just put it that way. So
It's a lot of Broadway too.
yeah,
A lot of
Yeah.
Gen Xers singing Broadway songs.
yeah.
Hopefully related.
Yeah.
Yeah, I will have to say I don't love attending some of those karaoke sessions.
So Amelia says that the kids club is one of her favorite
So
things.
not anything to do with the family, just
Yeah.
Ice Cream and Kids Club.
Right, nothing to do with mom and dad. Yeah, absolutely. Okay, so let's hit a couple of favorites, which I got to start with. So I'm gonna focus this on Audrey. Sorry, Alex, you've already been on the show before, so this is gonna be Alex, or this is gonna be Audrey's favorite. So okay, Audrey, we got to start with your favorite place to relax on a Disney cruise.
I mean, really the spa, but I guess that's kind of like a pampered option.
That's a good answer.
I do like to work out, and then usually there's like isn't there like a steam room in the locker room or something like that? So I like to kind of
either a sauna or a steam room. I can't remember. Some of them have both. I can't, but I think some of them just have a sauna. I can't remember. Yeah.
Yeah. So I like to do that. In theory, I'd like to maybe sit at the adult pool and read on my waterproof Kindle, but it doesn't really happen.
Yeah.
Maybe when my kids are a little older, when the youngest one is,
I feel like the last one we didn't do much of that, but the previous ones we've spent a good chunks, like an hour and a half, 2 hours sitting there reading.
Yeah.
We did do it on the front of the boat for a while that one time because remember the groups were all talking about all the Brandon Sanderson books.
Oh yeah,
or the Wheel of Time books, the Robert Jordan books.
They're having book club on the
book club. Yeah, there you go, book club. We got a question from the audience. Have you ever done the rainforest room, Audrey?
We haven't.
Think so. No.
We talked about it this time because y'all talk about it so much, but we've like slowly gone into spending more and more money. It's like when we're first there, we're like, well, we're just gonna take all the free stuff because we already spend all this, and we're like, well, what if we tried Palo? Now we're like, what if we tried Palo and Remy? What if we tried a tasting? And like, so we just keep trying more and more stuff. And she's done a couple massages. Quick tip about the massages: a lot of times on excursion days, port days, they'll like randomly drop discounts.
Yes.
So.
Yes.
Because nobody's staying on the boat. And so I don't think you've ever actually planned a massage. Every time we've got it last minute.
Yeah. Well, and they got me last time because it was like if you book more than one service, you get like 30% off.
10%, 20%, 30%. Yes, exactly. Yeah.
So I'm saving money by spending more money.
Right. Absolutely. It's like it's free. Absolutely. Yeah. All right. Well, I got to ask you favorite show on board Disney Cruise Line.
I like the variety shows, like where they do I can't remember what they're called.
Like Dreams, Believe, or Golden Mickey's or Seize the Adventure.
Yeah, because even though they're like, cheesy and everything, my girls, I don't know if they still love them, but they loved them when they were younger. And it was just, you got kind of like a taste of everything. And so it was so nostalgic, like to hear from different movies and everything. So I think those are my favorite.
All right.
But like the big headliner, those are always really well done.
Yes.
So, yeah.
Yes. Like Aladdin or Frozen or one of those. Yeah. Those. I personally am not big into the variety shows, even though the variety ones have wonderful musical numbers. But I don't like the cheesy stories. I can't get over some of the cheesy
Mickey's
stories
all the way.
Although
she still does like them.
Yeah. I have to. Yeah. I have to give a nod to Seize the Adventure because I think that's the best of that style, but I'm still a no on most of those. All right. Well, favorite rotational dining, Audrey?
Like what time?
No.
Which one? Which room? Which do you like Animator's Palette? Do you like
Animator's Palette?
Yeah. Do you like?
I think I thought that was really cool to begin with. But now that I've been there, it's too much for me.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Okay. So you're probably more of either a Royal Court, Royal Palace, or Enchanted Garden, perhaps.
Yes, I get most excited when we do whatever the royal dining room of that cruise is, like the Cinderella or whatever. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Quiet, princess themed with Chateaubriand on the menu. I don't blame you. I totally understand. Okay. Okay. I'm trying to think what I hit because I don't have my notes in front of me. Remy and Paulo, you have now been to both. Now, Paulo, of course, is Italian themed. It's a really quality restaurant, but fine dining is all the way at Remy. So, Paulo or Remy?
Paulo.
Nice.
I feel like I remember some of their dishes more, and it's something that I would like maybe order regularly. Like Remy, they would bring out like, some sort of like fish I've never heard of with like a foam, and that's cool, and it was really cool for that time, but it's not something I would like eat every night for dinner.
That's a good tip though. Always eat the bubbles. If there's bubbles or something, they're good.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Okay. Now, perhaps the most important question, which one is your favorite ship?
I like the smaller ships. I think I probably like to Wonder. The Wonder the most.
That was our first ship. Yeah. And
And it seems like there were beignets on one of the ships, or there were going to be beignets.
Yes, that's on the Wonder. Well, there are on the Wish as well, but there beignets started. Zeppelis are on the Magic, Brian. So yes.
Well, and I'm thinking like they had them in like a lounge, like where you get them any time of day.
The French Quarter Lounge on the Wonder has beignets, and then they also have them for dessert one night in Tiana's, and then they have them in the Bayou on the Wish all the time as well. Yeah. So yeah, I mean, what's not to love about a beignet? It's just a delicious donut with powdered sugar. I mean, that's always
probably the main
right
reason.
answer.
We're going to Port Orleans French Quarter in 2 weeks. And
fantastic.
Just be covered in powdered sugar on the way to the parks.
Powdered sugar all the way.
Got to do a drywall job, and now we're
I love it. Well, you guys, thanks so much for playing my abbreviated version of Rapid Fire. Thanks so much for celebrating moms with us on tonight's show. We want to celebrate all the moms out there watching, all the moms of the past, the present, the future, and especially DCL moms.
And we want to give Alex and Audrey one more chance to let folks know where they can find them. And we've got to talk about next week's show.
Yeah. Okay. So Tutoring with Audrey is how you can find me online. And everything I do is virtual. So even though I'm located in Georgia, I've had kids in Germany and Oregon and Tennessee, like just anywhere, which sometimes even works out better because of time zone differences. So, I've gotten the opportunity to teach a lot of different kids, and I was a teacher before that, and then I had like a team of tutors that used to be teachers, and we're all UGA grads. So go Dogs. And we really enjoy it. It's a lot of fun, and I've been doing it, I think, for 10 years now.
Wow.
So Tutoring with Audrey, and then
I did have one more tip for being a good husband and this one's a little bit more pragmatic, but know where the closest public bathroom is to your stateroom.
Oh,
I'm just going to leave it at that.
I love that.
Closest, then you won't use the one in the stateroom.
I love that tip, Alex. I am all in favor of using public bathrooms as much as possible.
But you can find me at seconddadtotherright.com or Second Dad to the Right on Facebook. And I talk about DCL and Disney parks.
Awesome.
Great. Well, next week, everybody out there, we will be back at our regularly scheduled time, 5:30 p.m. Pacific, 8:30 p.m. Eastern time, right here on our YouTube channel. And we will be talking with Sam.
We'll be talking with AJ and Erica Parker. So we're going to have another wonderful couple join us. We're going to talk about their most recent cruise on the Disney Fantasy. It was an adults only, and they were with like 3 other couples, all from their church. And it's a kind of a variety of folks who had been on DCL before and not. And so we're going to talk about some ways we'll talk about their cruise in general, but some ways in which they perhaps help steer some of their friends from doing the wrong thing and making mistakes on Disney Cruise Line, because that can actually happen. So we're going to chat with them next Monday night. It will be our normal time. As Alex pointed out to me, our promo had the wrong times for this week's show, but all of you watching figured it out
It
anyway.
had the right times in the wrong time zones. But there's no way that those two things could have existed.
Right.
So
we normally we're on at 5:30 p.m. Pacific time, 8:30 p.m. Eastern time.
I definitely did the math in my head several times to make sure it wasn't supposed to be.
No, it was definitely
There's no way.
Yes, no, it was definitely backwards, but we had it right in other places, and we knew that would not deter our viewers who watch us here.
Our loyal
viewers. So thank you all for watching so much. We will see you next week. Thank you to Alex and Audrey again for joining us, and everyone have a lovely evening. And I hope all your splash pads have 4-year-olds and under.
Well, thanks to everyone out there for listening this week. We really, really appreciate it. Be sure to subscribe to the podcast so you can keep getting great content from us every week. In fact, twice a week we publish shows. So be sure to hit the subscribe button to get all of those great episodes. And if you want to watch us live, we have a live show now every week, Monday nights, 5:30 p.m. Pacific, 8:30 p.m. Eastern over on youtube.com/DCL Duo. So be sure to head over and check that out. If you want to help support the show, be sure to hit those 5 stars on Apple Podcasts. And if you leave us a written review, a 5-star written review, we will read it at the top of one of our main episodes. So please head over there and hit those 5 stars. Of course, you can also help support the show by supporting our fabulous show sponsor, My Path Unwinding Travel. If you want to book your next Disney vacation, head over to mypathunwinding.com/DCL Duo or email them at dclduo@mypathunwinding.com so they know we sent you their way. If you've got questions or you'd like to connect with us, the best way to do that is to head over to dclduo.com. It's got links to all of our things, full catalog of the podcast episodes, including a searchable catalog for the podcast, links off to our vlog, a link to our Etsy store where we sell some fun fan-inspired magnets, link to our Patreon if you'd like to help directly support the show each and every month. Just head over to the website or patreon.com/DCLDuo. Also has a way for you to sign up for our Substack newsletter that we're hoping to start really pumping out monthly here at least, and a few blog articles that we've written. So DCLDuo.com is the best way to connect with us. You can also, of course, email us at info@DCLDuo.com or reach out to us on our voicemail line at 402-413-5590. That's 402-413-5590. The DCL Duo podcast is not affiliated with Disney Cruise Line, the Disney Company, or the Disney family of theme parks. The views expressed on the show are solely those of the individuals on the podcast and in no way reflect the views of the Disney Company or Disney Cruise Line. If you have questions about a Disney cruise or a Disney vacation, please contact the great folks over at My Path Unwinding Travel or Disney directly or your own travel agent. Thanks again for listening, and we'll see you next time for another fabulous adventure with the DCL Duo. Good night.